And then once you're on site, like what protocols do you have in space? Like how in place, pardon me, how do you go about investigating? Because I spend a lot, I've never been on paranormal equipment websites, which you have a whole bunch on your website of like places where people could go and buy equipment. And I'm gonna name some things here. Thermal imaging cameras, EMF detectors, EVP recorders, parapod sensors, phasm light, K2 meters, like the list, there was so many things. I'm like, wait a second, I thought they just came in with a little thing and maybe a couple of things. Like the list goes on and on and on. So what kind of process do you have? Like, how do you go about not debunking, but debunking or finding out and determining like, okay, there's actually something here. How does that work?
Well, what we do is like all that equipment that you labeled off, we try and take it on in as best as what we can, as much as what we can. We want to try and see if we can catch some voices. The K2, it's an EMF detector, electromagnetic field. The theory is that whenever anything wants to manifest itself, it actually has to pull on the electromagnetic field in the air, it just all around us. So that's what we're looking for, is that fluctuation in there. Is it too high within a house? If the EMF is way too high in the house, EMF can actually play with people's minds.
Yeah.
It actually can cause nausea, fatigue. It can, and right on up to hallucinations.
And Tim, just a moment for people watching at home, EMF is electromagnetic field, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that could cause some actual physical
rashes.
Rashes.
Yes. Oh yeah. If you have a high EMF in your house, definitely, for sure. So we've gone into quite a few of them on that. But yeah, we take in and our main thing is our DVR, our digital video recorders. Our night vision cameras, and what we take on in. So it's like
you set those up in different parts around the house.
Yep.
And do you do this mostly at night? I'm guessing, obviously. I mean, is it more conducive at night than it would be at 7 a.m.?
Yeah, it is more conducive at night, only because nighttime is the more relaxed.
I was going to say everything is calm.
Everything's calm. Everything is as it should be. Now, granted, we can do daytime. I've done it. Mm-hmm. I've done daytime investigations. That's no problem. That's easy enough. If there's so much activity happening within the daytime, that's where we want to concentrate on. That's where we want to go for. But if there's nothing happening during the day and it's all at night, well, then you go at night. Mm-hmm. So that's why, again, that in that interview process, that's where we're finding out, what time is this happening? Where is it happening in the house? Who's it happening to? It also depends on if the person is causing it, or being affected by it. So we take all of that into consideration onto when we go in, how we go in, how many of us go in, and what equipment we use.
And the people that live in the house, do they stay there while that's happening? Or at least the member that things are happening to, does that person stay there? Or do you rather work in a space where you're like, okay, leave the house for 2 hours, come back and we'll regroup, we'll chat?
We usually like to have at least one member of the family there. If there is one person that is being affected, then we do ask them to be there, but off to the side.
Gotcha. Not actively in there.
Unless we actually come in and ask, unless we say, okay, we're not getting anything because you're not here.
So come on in.
Time for you to come on in with us, and let's see what happens at that point in time.
That's awesome.
So for them being there, but we've had people just simply say, all right, how long do you think you'll be? Well, it's 8 o'clock now. We'll probably go until about 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see you then or something.
Okay. And then what are some, and unless you wanted to add something else, because I got all hype when you were talking about that. What are some examples? Because I know everyone watching is like, okay, let's talk about things happening. What are some examples of intense cases you've had? Because earlier I was talking about ectoplasm. That's the word on your website. And for people who don't know what ectoplasm actually is, no, it's not just green goo.
No.
Ectoplasm is a substance thought to be emitted by spirits and from mediums communicating with the spirit world. So do you have an example? And also, sidebar, I do want to mention that I know that you cases are kept in a confidential way. I know that's one of
Yes.
your, it's very important for you to make sure that people know that it's not like you go out and you're talking, you know, about people's personal things
Mhm.
that are happening in their homes. But are there any examples that you can give me or us of anything that's happened? It was an actual haunting, you can't debunk it, and it stayed in your mind forever, and you're like, well, this is it, this is why we do this.
Well, actually, like for the ectoplasm, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't run across any of it myself
Okay.
yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Maybe
So,
2022 is your year, Tim.
yay! Let's bring it on. So, yeah, you never know. But yeah, I haven't run across it myself yet. But again, I have heard teams that have actually run into it.
Okay.
For that. Now you're saying about experiences and things like that. I do remember one, we went to in Mississauga, and we were just up in the kitchen, and there was just the stairway to go down to the basement was just behind us.
Mm-hmm.
One of my team members was sitting on the floor looking down into the basement. She literally watched this black mask start coming from the hallway, like the hallway just down the stairs, coming to the bottom of the stairs, and literally it was just swirling right there, right at the bottom of the stairs. So, and she's just going, Tim, 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 Tim. So it's like I poke my head around the corner. I saw it, and I was just like, all right, well, let's see what you got. So I said, okay, well, if you want to do something, I started walking down towards it. I walked down the stairs and I walked into it. And they said I disappeared. I got completely enveloped in black. Completely gone. They could hear me and everything.
But they couldn't see you.
Couldn't see me because it just kept swirling. It got darker and darker and darker and darker as I was sitting there talking.
That's crazy.
I wasn't feeling a thing off of it, and I was trying to get something, but it just went poof, gone.
It dissipated and it left. And any kind of experiences where again, part of the questionnaire was like, have you seen any objects moving or anything like that? Is that something that has been a common occurrence for you while you've been, you know, out investigating?
Oh yeah, I've watched our K2s like literally pushing off to the side. I've seen our flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's saying, well, they're round anyways. They go, you know, they'll move. Yeah, but the thing is, though, this thing was on a carpet, so it's like it can't roll on a thick carpet.
No, it can't.
I've seen a toy going across the floor.
See, that would freak me out. There's something about dolls and toys and children talking and laughing. Like that's I do believe in all of these things, and I've had my fair share of things that are sort of unexplained. But there's something about toys and kids that would scare me. Adults, I'd be like, I could deal with it. A boy running and laughing, I'd be like, ciao, I'm out.
I'm gone. See ya.
I'm gone from here. Yeah, exactly.
We've had quite a few. Like we do have some EVPs, electronic voice phenomenons, which are voices that are caught over our recorders, but we did not hear with our actual ears.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, and we've caught many children over the thing.
No, Tim. For a moment I was like, maybe I could join the team, and that's where you lost me, at the children laughing in the background.
You would enjoy it. You would enjoy it. Yeah, but we've had many of them calling out mommy. We've had children laughing. I actually caught a little girl laughing in a cemetery. From that, caught a little boy chuckling. You could hear the
chuckling is scary. Laughing, you could
chuckling.
sort of deal with, but the chuckle, it's evil.
But that's the thing though, is I can't remember, somebody tripped or something like this, and that's when you actually caught the chuckle.
Oh my God.
Somebody tripped or moved, or somebody bumped into something. I can't remember.
And then there was a chuckle.
And then there was this little chuckle that just came out of nowhere off of that. So yeah, so that's pretty interesting.
Wow,
So
those are all great experience. I mean, great experience. Some of them I'm sure have been scary, but all very interesting. What happens when you're done investigating? I also saw that you take clients' requests for cleansing a home or blessing the home. What are some of the steps that you take? Let's say once you've determined, like, okay, something is happening here. What are the options for your clients?
well, that's it. Is once we've gone over all the evidence and we determine, yes, there is something possibly here.
Mhm.
You know, we've caught in voices, we've caught this or anything like that. We had these experiences,
Mhm.
and they're all meshing with what you were claiming as well.
Mhm.
We always ask the client, do you want to have the house cleansed? Do you want to have it blessed? I have a couple people on my team that are skilled with this and how to be able to do it. If not, I know people within this field that could help us on out with it.
Gotcha.
But when it does come down to, we ask the client, do you actually want to cohabitate with this at the same
Okay.
time?
So there's options.
And there is, and it's just because if it's not scaring, if it's
Then
not
you're fine.
jumping out, then and it's not bugging you, why cleanse it?
Yeah.
Why get rid of it if it's
Yeah.
not bugging you?
Yeah.
Until it does, cohabitate with it. Set
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
You know, let it know that you're setting the rules. That
And how do you do that? How do you set rules? Do you just speak out loud and say, okay, here we go. We're going to be roommates, but these are the things that I asked. Just as simple as that?
just as simple as that.
Just as simple as that.
As silly as it sounds, it's your house.
Yeah.
It's your area now.
Yeah.
You just, and we tell everybody, you literally just have to take your area back. That's all
Right.
it is.
All right.
And you have to have that willpower, that that presence, that just that mindset, and be the strong one within it.
Yeah.
and
And
take
say,
that
this
back.
is it.
But if we find that it's okay, yeah, it's time for this thing to go,
Yeah.
and it's not just on the fact of okay, let's go on in and let's cleanse.
Mhm.
We need to know what we're dealing with,
Yes.
because if we go in there with doing a Christian cleansing,
Mhm.
but we find out that it's actually it's a Buddhist,
Yeah.
we find out Muslim,
Yeah.
totally different, anything like this,
Yeah. That won't work.
anything Wiccan, you're going to go in there with a Christian thing, it's just going to go, okay,
Yeah.
have a
Of
nice
course.
day.
Of
You know?
course. Of course.
So you got to do that little bit of research and a little bit of thing. That's why we always try and find out what religion the client is.
Mhm.
This way we can narrow things down at that point in time.
And be prepared and come prepared.
And that's it exactly.
Yeah. And then what are some of the lessons that you've learned now that you've been doing this for a while? You said 13 years and you've been experiencing things since you were 5. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way? Like, are there any lessons or not?
It's more experience. The lessons basically in how you go in and you treat people. You got to remember, there's still people too.
Yeah.
They just don't have a body anymore. That's all it is.
So always keep it respectful.
And that's it exactly. As long as you're respectful, but you keep the guidelines.
Yeah.
You keep the boundaries, you keep the barriers of what you're doing and how you're handling it. Don't go in there so aggressive.
No.
That is just not going to work. You got to go in there, like I said, with the respect.
Like if it were a real person, you're not going to go in aggressive with someone else, or they're going to get pissed at you.
Exactly.
And I don't want no roommate of mine that I can't see most of the time or all the time to be pissed at me.
Well, we always tell them, it's like, if you're going to do something like that, if you're going to stay here, at least do the damn dishes.
Yeah.
You know,
all right.
You know, like if you're going to live here, clean, sweep up or something.
Do something.
Do something. You know, board is free. Like, come on.
Oh my God.
So yeah, funny. So it is. It's an interesting field.
Yeah, of course it is. And do you have any advice for people at home who don't necessarily want to call investigators to their home, but feel or think that, their house must be haunted? I have an actual example for you. I am convinced, Tim, I know this for a fact.
Bring it.
That there is what I like to think, I don't know why, I had sort of like a vision of what I think this individual looks like. I think there's an elderly man, maybe from the 40s, in my house who smokes cigarettes. And this is the key word. It's been maybe 6 to 8 months that only myself, not my son or my husband, it once in a while it smells like someone is smoking next to me. I'm not a smoker. I quit 6 years ago. No one smokes in my house. The window, like it's not like it's coming in from, oh, isn't that funny? Can you hear the phone ringing? Can you hear it through my?
I can hear something. Yeah,
it's my phone. I have an actual 1940s phone, so I think it's funny that I just said it's a 1940s.
I was just going to say, you're saying 40s and now the bloody damn phone is ringing.
I have an actual 1940s phone, and it's going to be a telemarketer or someone asking me if I want the duct cleaning, whatever it is, duct cleaning. Yeah. Anyways, but there's a smell, like a cigarette smell, to a point where it was happening for a while. It then stopped. It happened again last week, and I actually called my husband and I said, and my son, I said, guys, stop right there. Do you smell the cigarette smell? And they're like, no. I said, you don't smell it. It smells like someone's blowing in my face. It happened like I was in bed. I have a bench next to my bed. I actually got on the floor, I want to say last summer, and I said to Jeff, like, it smells like it's coming. I was on the floor. So I'm like, someone's smoking here. And so that happens. Also, our TV turns on and off at 5 a.m. or whatever. Yeah. And it's not the sleeper, and the remote isn't in a place where my cat could have gotten, like, we've tried to debunk things. And not only last time it turned on was a couple of weeks ago, and it turned on at 5 a.m. And not only did it turn back on, but it was at max volume, and Jeff had to go downstairs. He came back up. I said, oh, I'm like, yeah, they turned the TV on again. He's like, yeah, that's happening. So I know. So for someone like me or anyone else watching this at home, and they're like, yeah, but I don't want to call an investigator. Any kind of tips and tricks? Or again, it comes down to, it depends on what you want as an outcome. Do you want to cohabitate with this entity or not?
That's a good deal of what it is do you want to cohabitate with them? If you do, you need to take your place back. You need to specify to them, this is our home. Mm-hmm. You're welcome to stay, but you are not allowed to interact with anybody. Yeah. While we are here in the house, you are not allowed to interact with us while we are sleeping. Yeah. Nothing. The only time you are note of that. I was just going to say, I could see her writing there. Or it's just the fact of, you are only allowed to come out and do what you do when nobody is home. That is your free reign.
Now I'm regretting having headphones, because I could have just let you speak.
I was just going to say, just let me talk to them. There you go.
Hey. Okay, but that's interesting. Yeah, so just like you said, reclaim and then what are some of the tools that people can use at home to research the history of their residence? I saw something called a land title search document, at least in Ontario. I'm guessing all provinces or all states, if anyone's watching from elsewhere.
all provinces. All provinces will have their own registry.
And what is that? That is, what's that document exactly?
What that does, that documents basically everybody, like for your land, your lot or whatever, everything that's happened on it has been recorded. Has actually been, ever since it's been chopped up into certain lots and certain areas and certain buildings. It has all been documented, and it's sitting within a vault or just in some archives. So,
but only not rentals, just not like things that have happened, the erection of the house or different owners, but not rentals.
Yeah, no, rentals are like impossible to do. Okay. But when it comes down to an actual house, an actual lot, land, everything is documented. Everything will be through that registry. If you really want to know, go down to your historical society. Yes. Go down to your city hall, down to records. Yeah. Any of that stuff there, that is where it'll be.
And is that something that's part of your service? Like if it gets to a situation where it's really intense, is that something that you guys do sometimes, where you go when you look into it?
That is also something too, that if we know that we are going to go into an investigation, one of my girls on the team is our researcher. That's
Yeah.
what we'll do. We
Yeah.
have a researcher on our team,
Yeah.
and she'll try and drum up or look up any information
Anything.
that she can find.
Can you find out as well if there's been, I think there's a law, at least here in Canada, where you have to disclose if someone passed away on your property.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any death has to be recorded somewhere.
Okay.
And that's 90% of the time. If it's there, it'll be there. It'll all be
Gotcha.
documented with all that same stuff. And truthfully, if not, go down to the police headquarters. Go down to the police.
Even
Ask
think
them.
about that. Yes.
Their records, anything criminal, anything they'll have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's one of the best ways to try and figure it on out too. Is from that.
Yeah. Well, Tim, this was beyond interesting. I love chatting with you today, and
was awesome.
For everyone that's watching at home, you can check out the Ontario Paranormal Society's website at www.ontarioparanormal.ca. And they have a really complete website. And if you are in the region and you may want to join the society, maybe you have some of those skills we were talking about at the beginning, you can go to ontarioparanormal.ca/join, and all the information is there. Tim, is there anything in the works for the society, anything we could look forward to?
Well, with hopefully this pandemic slowly going away, we are actually in talks with some of our past museums that we have done, because we've always done tours and things like that. But we're getting a lot of people that are saying, what are the chances of actually just getting in here for a night ourselves?
Yeah.
And so that's something that we're slowly starting to talk about right now with some of the museums, to be able to open the doors and give people access. Of course, there'll be a fee, which will all be completely donated back to the museum.
Oh, and you know what? The fee, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to mention, for anyone watching this at home, this service is completely free.
Yeah. Free.
The Paranormal Society does not charge. There's no fee. These are passionate individuals who truly, again, believe in helping out and either debunking or confirming, but it's all free of charge. So my apologies for interrupting you, but that's an important I'm
gonna backtrack on a little bit of that part.
Yeah.
It's for being free, home baked cookies.
Okay. Okay, so I'm taking that back.
That's a must.
I'm taking that back. It's with cookies. We could pay in cookies and treats, but that's awesome. And then you're gonna do the thing with the museums and give back all of the fees to the museum, which is an absolutely great thing. I mean, especially all of these cultural places haven't, I mean, everyone hasn't been faring well, but you know what I mean? Like, it's important to keep that going.
Just to give you a quick little example of what we did. Our first year when we did tours for Homer Watson house, we did one night with them, and we made them $1,700.
That's awesome.
One night.
That's really good.
So anything like that is just amazing for that. So the best way to do, watch our web to find out what's coming up. Yeah. Watch our website. Yeah. Watch our Facebook page. Yes. We're always posting on Facebook page. We have Instagram. We have Instagram. We have Twitter.
All the social media platforms. That's awesome. Well, thanks again for your time. And I know that we're already in February, but I'm still going to wish you a great year. And I hope 2022 brings you a lot of cases.
Yes, thank you very much. And hopefully that ectoplasm too. So
and maybe this is the year. I can feel it. This is it.
Cross the fingers. But yeah, thank you very much, Angela. This was a blast.
Thank you. This was a blast. Thanks, Tim.
All right. Take care.
Next time on The Gabot Show. You had mentioned that you also don't recommend licking, biting, or consuming parts of pieces. Yeah. Please tell me that refers to like cats and dogs and not people, or are there people who lick, bite, and consume pieces of their taxidermy?
Oh my gosh, I hope not.